Yeah, Bijidda. So we have one more question, which is very important and very interesting question. Have you
Hmm.
encountered when did this idea of Hindu-Muslim unity was used in Indian political parlance to undermine the atrocities on Hindus? The context is during the Swadesh movement onwards.
So this idea was, yeah, yes, I have written about it as well. So this is in the chapter. So I have a chapter from Jihad to Ji Hazuri, and then Ashrafs and Political Islam, Genocides in Modern India. So actually, it was obviously an invention, but not from the Muslim side. Muslim side, the Ashraf side, so to say, always believes in this dominance, outright dominance. Okay, but this thing was invented by the Congress, and they started to history in that way as well. So I am giving you one example. The first instance where I find a trace of this fabricated unity, right? This narrative of Hindu Muslim Ganga Jamuni wala thing. Um, so there is a book by Pattavi Sitaramaya who has written this book named The History of Congress. It is a very propaganda whitewashing book. Okay. Um, and I'm giving you this idea. So you download the book from archive.org. Okay, so you have the book, you do Control F, okay, and you write Hindu. Just imagine, you write Hindu. So wherever this word Hindu is coming, there is a dash and Muslim. Hindu, Muslim, Hindu, Muslim, Hindu. Look, this is insane. This is insane. You cannot, like, you are writing a 8 year history, no, not 80, 60 year history of Congress. It was founded around 1885. This guy is writing it in around 1940, right after he became a total chamcha of Karamchand Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So it is like after so he's writing a 55 years long history of Congress. Obviously, we'll be discussing about, because Congress used to be called a Hindu organization, just like BJP is being called a Hindu organization by all the other factions, right? Congress and other people, right?
Hindu nationalist.
Then, so Congress used to be called the same thing, ki Babu, Hindu Nationalist Party, ye wo, right? Congress used to be called that, exactly that. And now this guy is writing a 55 years long history of Congress, and he cannot write one sentence that contains solely Hindu interest. Like very rare instances where he is discussing this riot in our the northwest frontier province. There was a very big riot. There he wrote about some Hindu refugee, because Hindus are now were being discussed as refugees. So there also he is writing Hindu Muslim, Hindu Muslim. All those events of massacres in that history of Congress book became riot, right? So this propaganda of showing it as a mutual thing, this one-way invasion, to call it a riot, this is not a new thing. This was an invention of the Congress. I mean, I will probably write a book where I will be showing the statistics actually. Ki how many times this guy has written like solely a Hindu word against Hindu Muslim. Very weird. Okay, very weird.
Yeah, thank
So
you. We have one more very
ये वाला जुमला
interesting
तो
question.
सॉरी नो नो ये वाला जुमला तो कांग्रेस का इन्वेंशन है, ठीक है.
Hindi Muslim is a copyright of Congress.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, basically.
We should give them royalty.
Right. And at the same time, B.R. Ambedkar is talking about casteism in. See, B.R. Ambedkar had also his own vices, but the way he has criticized Islam, like it is unforeseen basically. Like no other Congress leader or any other leader has criticized Islam to with that much depth. So this guy, so our Ambedkar is writing about Islam in Pakistan or the partition of India. He's writing this book, I think, 1946. It was published. He's talking about caste. So it was not completely unknown that Muslims have caste. I mean, people knew about it. It's a very well-known fact. But no, Congress is not talking about Muslimon ka caste, right? So British had this narrative कि ऐसा करेंगे कि इंडिया को इसमें बांटेंगे पहले, जो बेसिकली अब कांग्रेस कर रहे हैं, राइट? कि पहले क्रिश्चियन होगा, फिर मुस्लिम होगा, हिंदू होगा और दलित होगा. Okay. So then this Mohandas Gandhi did one good thing at least. He stopped this from happening. So there are this history of letters being exchanged between Mahatma Gandhi and the British. He's saying कि हम लोग ये मतलब गांधी जी is saying कि हम ये कदम उठाएंगे, but do not completely like differentiate between Hindu and Dalit or are Hindus and all these things. So he exchanged letters. He pretty much stopped this thing from happening कि दलितों को हिंदुओं से अलग कर देना, एक डिफरेंट रिलीजियन क्रिएट कर देना ऑल टुगेदर. कैन यू इमेजिन व्हाट वुड हैव हैपेंड, राइट, इफ ब्रिटिश डिड दैट? बट ये तो चलता है. हिंदू मुस्लिम यूनिटी का और एक जुमला और एक तरीके से यूज किया गया ब्रिटिशों के द्वारा. ब्रिटिश ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, सो आई थिंक इट वाज लॉर्ड मिंटो, आई गेस मिंटो. So, so who is using it? British does not differentiate between Hindus and Muslim because we believe in unity, but there is an undercurrent of separatism in whatever this disharmony between these two factions in the society. But we believe in complete harmony. Um, you know, but for the interest of Muslims, because they have the downtrodden, most downtrodden people, we have to take some measures to sort of boost their confidence and all these things. There's a guy W. Hunter who was an ICS officer in from I think 1870 to 1879, and he wrote like 9-volume book on this Indian history. Why he wrote this book? Because so that he can analyze the Indian history from a colonialist perspective to understand how to run this country, to sort of get the politics of India, right? The socio-political situation of India. So he wrote this 9-volume book. There is a one book which is called "Are Muslims Bound to Rebel Against the Queen?" ऐसा कुछ book का नाम है. The Indian Muslims, are they bound to rebel against the queens? उसमें W. हंटर क्लियरली लिख रहा है कि हमें पता है कि हिंदुओं का जागरण हुआ है. लेट मी रीड दैट पार्ट. जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड.
Mhm.
इधर ही है यार. W. Hunter, right? So W. Hunter from 1840 to 1900, and he wrote about the contemporary administrative policies, statics, history, geography, and societies of India from 1869 to 1881. And then he wrote this book in 1871 titled "The Indian Mussalmans, Are They Bound in Conscience to Rebel Against the Queen?" And here he is writing this thing. uh, he's writing, I'm quoting him. W. Hunter writes, quote, कहाँ से पढ़ना है? चलो, quote, "The truth is that our system of public instruction, which has awakened the Hindus from the sleep of centuries and quickened their inert masses with some of the noble impulses of a nation, is opposed to the traditions, unsuited to the requirement, and hateful to the religion of the Muslims." ठीक है, बेसिकली बोल रहा है कि हिंदू जाग चुका है बट मुसलमान वही अंधेरे में है. एंड देन ही इज राइटिंग कि ठीक है वो अंधेरे में है, एंड द रिजल्ट, एज ए रिजल्ट की मतलब जो भी पब्लिक जॉब था, बेसिकली एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव जॉब था, वो वहाँ हिंदू भर गए थे क्योंकि दे आर क्विक इन अडॉप्टिंग टू द न्यू सिस्टम, वट एवर मैकल एजुकेशन, वट एवर इज देयर. They learned it and they got engaged into sort of different positions, right? In the British Raj. मुसलमान लेकिन नहीं भर रहे थे. And that was a point of concern for this guy W. Hunter, जो बोल रहा था कि हिंदू भर रहा है लेकिन ये होने नहीं देंगे. कैसे लिख रहा है? So Hunter argues in his book, quote, "Is it that The Hindus have all along been better men than the Muslims and only required a fair field in order to outstrip them in the race? Or is it that the Muslims have so many careers open to them in non official life that they are indifferent to the government employment and leave the Hindus to walk over the course? Now it starts, okay, the real thing. The Hindu has unquestionably a higher order of intellect, but an universal and immeasurable superiority on the part of the Hindus, such as would be required to explain their monopoly of official preferment, is unknown at the present day. Ki we don't know whether Hindus are superior and is in direct contradiction to their past history, क्योंकि उनका हिस्ट्री कह रहे हैं कि वो सुपीरियर नहीं है. The truth is that when the country passed under our rule, the Muslims were the superior race, and superior not only in stoutness of heart and strength of arm, but in power of political organization. मुसलमान किस लिए सुपीरियर थे? क्योंकि वो पॉलिटिकली ऑर्गेनाइज हो सकते हैं, and they have a stout heart and they have strong arms and in the science of practical government. ठीक है. फिर वो बोल रहा है कि there are three, so they identified three shortcomings in Hindu society. क्या क्या? अंग्रेज लिख रहा है, ठीक है. पॉइंट वन, हिंदूज डू नॉट हैव पॉलिटिकल यूनिटी. अंग्रेज बोल रहा है, हम लोग अपने बारे में नहीं बोल रहे हैं. दे सॉ इट, so they made those all these law in such a way कि it prefers the politically united class, because उनको अगर cater नहीं करेंगे through law, they will come to the street. So they identified three shortcomings. The British identified three shortcomings of Hindu society. Point one, Hindus do not have political unity. Point two, Hindus are not brave and wise enough in their political demands. पॉइंट थ्री, हम लोग अब यह बात कर रहे हैं, अंग्रेज 200 साल पहले कर रहे थे. पॉइंट थ्री, हिंदूज डू नॉट हैव प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज ऑफ हाउ टू गवर्न ए कंट्री. सो दिस इज ब्रिटिश जजिंग हिंदूज.
The third one may
मैं
not
तो
be very accurate, but the third one may
जो
not
है
be
कि प्रैक्टिकल,
the
I
third
mean,
one may not be
they are
very
writing
accurate.
it. They are
Hmm.
writing it. Even Voltaire. Voltaire is
Huh.
writing. Voltaire came before 1718. The Voltaire basically wrote extensively about the harrowing condition of the downtrodden class in France, right, under the French kings. That pretty much fueled the 1789 French Revolution. This guy Voltaire रिगार्डेड हिंदूज, ये बुक के पीछे दिया हुआ है ना, इसमें मैंने सिनॉप्सिस में डाला हुआ है, तो अमेजोन में भी दिखेगा. Voltaire regarded Hindus as peaceful and innocent people, equally incapable of hurting others or of defending themselves. बार बार ये कह रहे हैं बाहर के लोग हमें कि you cannot, you don't have much power, you cannot insert your power, you cannot impart your power. ठीक है. ये बार अगर लोग बोल रहे तो उनका तो सुन के जाग जाओ.